goddess of the flame. Birgitta, Birgitta, goddess of the flame. Awaken the flame within my being. Awaken the sacred fire within my being. Birgitta, Birgitta, priestess of the flame. Birgitta, Birgitta, goddess of the flame. Awaken the flame within my being. Awaken the sacred fire within my being. Birgitta, Birgitta, priestess of the flame. Birgitta, Birgitta, goddess of the flame. Awaken the flame within my being. Awaken the sacred fire within my being. Birgitta, Birgitta, priestess of the flame. Birgitta, Birgitta, goddess of the flame. Awaken the flame within my being. Awaken the sacred fire within my being. Birgitta, Birgitta, priestess of the flame. Birgitta, Birgitta, goddess of the flame. Awaken the flame within my being. Awaken the sacred fire within my being. Blessed angels, come be with me. Heal my spirit, mind, and body. Blessed angels, come be with me. Heal my spirit, mind, and body. Blessed angels. I just realized I had my microphone off. I think it was being caught. Shit. So whoever's watching, could you hear me up till now? Could you hear me? It was registering that it was recording, but or that it was transmitting. At any rate, when I do fairs and parties and things, and there's alcohol involved. So when you're doing a party, you'll get a lot of people that show up that do know what psychics are about, but then you'll get ones that have never had a reading and are half-potted, and they're just curious. I don't know, I'm just curious. And so I'll always ask them, do you have a specific question, or are you just curious? And if they say I'm just curious, expect crap. Because A, they don't have a question in their mind, so they're not going to be like framing anything. And if you don't see that there's a psychic and go, oh my God, I want to ask them about this, and you just show up and sit down, they're just going to, there's going to be some random things, some things that aren't so important, but you're not going to have a context in your head, and it's going to sound like a bunch of crap. So tonight, oh shit, stop this. Do you see me grabbing the little grabby thing? There we go. Silly. So I'm also using some new lights tonight. I hope it's not too dim. Maybe if I do this. That's a little better, eh? That's a little better. Wait, let's see here. So I got these fabulous lights that I'm going to put in my kitchen, actually. Go under they're tape lights and they're LEDs, and you can cut them apart and put them back together again, and they've got all kinds of colors and patterns and shit, and so I thought I'd try them tonight. All right, so tonight I am bringing a deck called the Faeries Oracle by Brian Froud. This, I think, was the first deck review that I did 8 years ago. And not very good, but one of the very early videos that I did. This deck is fucking alive. I am going to shoot another review of it. I'll shoot an actual unboxing
of it so you can get familiar with the deck. I won't talk about it too much now, but it's alive. It was a gift deck. My sister-in-law bought this for me for Christmas one year. It's a complete surprise, and this deck is fucking alive. So we're going to, that just knocked their heads together to wake them up. I'm going to throw a little bit of Fire of Azrael on here. And I'm doing 3 riffle shuffles. The music tonight is Lisa Thiel, one of my very favorite musicians for ritual music and goddess music. Like one of the first people I ever heard when I walked into a witch shop and heard there was witch music playing was Lisa Thiel. So it's very familiar. When I hear her music, it just puts me in that place, you know, puts me in ritual head place. Okay, one more riffle shuffle. So is everybody's heads clearing? Baby Joe, just tuned in. Can hear you just fine. Okay, so was it, all right. I don't think you missed anything important, except that I'm drinking a frozen brandied peaches and cream cocktail, so. Oh, Nadia, you had this deck. I know, it's fucking alive, isn't it? It's just amazing. I mean, things like, we were, let's see, I think it was it solstice or was it equinox? No, it was Beltane. It was, yeah, it was Beltane. Over at my sister-in-law's, we went out to the patio to do a real quick little ceremony, and my son was 6 at the time, and we were doing the ceremony for him, and he didn't want any part of it. So it was just a quick little blessing outside, you know, on Beltane. So we're out there, and we did our little blessing, and I said, you know, I grabbed the deck and said, who wants to talk to us? Let's just see. And I started shuffling. I felt cards flip out and hit the ground, and when I looked down, there was the Bright Mother and himself, like this, on the ground on top of each other. The two of them showing up for Beltane. So, you know, the deck is alive. Okay, so before I do the cut shuffles, let me get myself centered here. And you guys too, center yourself. And I think I was starting to ask, and then I forgot. Is everybody's head clearing a little bit now that Mercury is direct? It's stationed on Sunday, and we give it, you know, by the end of this week, it will be up to full speed. And then we've got a while until we clear the shadow. Let's see. What the fuck? We don't clear the shadow till like the end of this month, or the 20th. I don't remember. But anyway, the exit shadow is just not a big deal compared to the entry shadow and the actual retrograde. So I'm loving what the lights are doing on my hair here. I'm kind of digging this. Don't know if these will make it to the kitchen. Anyway, think about what you want to know about. Think about, you know, the things that you really need for this next section here. Now that Mercury has pulled its head out of its ass and we're all having a kind of a clearing of the mind, let's think about what we need to know about. And I once again have my karma cards here, the ones for the signs. So I will be doing signs in random order, because it's my evil way of making you watch the whole video. Hi, Michelle. Thanks, baby. I think it does too. Holy shit, man. Carry these lights around with me on a pole. All right. So, just get me down into my body here. Can you hear the music? Turn it up a little bit. Hi, Michelle. Fill us with thy love, fill us with thy light. Lady, I ask that you, no, I don't ask that you, I open myself to you. I ask to become a vessel for your wisdom, for your messages. I ask for messages that can help everybody that's watching this now and in the future. so that we all can move forward in the best way possible and have what we need. Thank you. Yes, it's good music. Lisa Thiel is amazing. All right. First sign we're reading for is Pisces. We begin at the end. All right, Pisces, fairies, 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 dear. And what I'm doing is 3 cut shuffles. If I don't get any cards flying out, then I'll take 2 or 3 off the top. All right. So for Pisces, the Piper talks about attraction and pulling people to you, kind of calling people to you so that they will follow you. It's also music and empathy, but it's that seduction, the calming power of music, the power of music to draw you, to pull you into an altered state. And Pisces, you're the best at this ever, of escapism and achieving altered states. So the Piper talks about that ethereal part of you, Pisces, that can reach out and use like your ethereal quality, your charisma to draw and to attract people. It also talks about harmony and music itself. So let's look at the Guardian at the Gate and the Singer of Courage. All right. So Guardian of the Gate in the middle here, Pisces. It talks about it's time to step through a door. It's time to step across a boundary to make a change. All right. The boundary here is the Piper is on one side, and this is you being seduced into all of these beautiful escapes, music and fun and play, and oh, isn't this lovely, and airy-fairy, ethereal, everything that's like illusionary, and the seduction of that. Talks about stepping away from that into the Singer of Courage, which is stepping into reality, the courage to really face what's going on now in actual reality, and not telling yourself beautiful stories about it. Beautiful stories are great when you want to frame something in a positive way. Not so great when they're not actually the reality that's occurring. So Pisces, the message here is just to watch out when you have that feeling of being seduced by something. Really watch out, because it's time to step away from that now and into a more hands-on way of dealing with reality. And you do have the courage to face it. Whatever you're running away from, you've got the courage to face it. Turn around and face it, and you'll find out. You can't experience courage until you face what you're afraid of. Okay? So that's for Pisces, Pisces rising, Pisces moon. Hi, Mary. Hi, Mary. Hello, my dear. How you doing? Okay, now we're going to read for Sagittarius. Okay, so fairies, a message for Sag. Sag rising, Sag moon, Sag sun. Was that 2 or 3? I don't know. I'm doing one more. These are wonderful albums. This is this album, I believe, is Songs of Healing that we're listening to, right? Yes, it is. Okay. Oh, did I pick up the whole deck upside down? I did. The Glenconer, the Singer of Healing, and Penelope Dreamweaver. Okay, I'm going to look up a couple here. Again, I'm so grateful, for you guys showing up to my channel, because this is really making me get back into my collection and really be here doing what I do rather than just collecting the things, so cheers to you. Oh, so peachy. Those are Georgia peaches. The peach truck came. We got a 25-pound box of peaches. We made pies, froze a bunch of them. So these are fresh Georgia peaches that were frozen, and damn, they make a good cocktail. Here for Gemini and Leo. Okay, Sunshine Astrology. Well, we'll see when they show up, because I'm doing them in random order. We're on Sag right now. So the Glenconer, kind of like the Piper, but the Glenconer is even more of that that illusion and the seduction of illusion. So somebody throwing a glamour and putting an illusion out there, something that just really makes you, lust after it. And then we have the singer of healing. So it's looking like Sag 2. This is something that you're stepping away from and learning to heal, and maybe codependency. But any of those things in relationships, that place in new relationships where you sort of go blind. And that's what the Glenconer is talking about. And then you end up wondering how you got where you are, particularly when you've had a traumatic relationship or a learning relationship and it's gone south, and you figure it out, you learn your lesson, you step away from it, and then you have another relationship that looks so different from the one you just got out of. So different. I know this one's going to be healthy. And down the line, you find yourself going, how the fuck did I do this to myself again? Well, it's because you're being tested, and it's time for the next level of healing. It's the test to see if you recognize what you just healed from, and if you're going to fall for it again. So the Glenconer and the Singer of Healing are talking about that relationship-wise. Just learning to recognize that place where you go blind. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be in a relationship with a person. It can be any substance or situation that you tangle with that you tend to lose yourself in, that you get sucked into illusion. Okay? Then Penelope Dreamweaver. She's going to talk about coming up with a new idea, moving into a new place, visualizing something else. She talks about inspiration. So, and look at the blue cast on everything here. Let me look at her again. So magical dreams and visions. And what this is talking about is it's time to imagine a new way of being in a relationship, a new way of being clear-eyed, clear-minded, open-eyed, seeing exactly what you're getting into when you're getting into a relationship. And also, not necessarily that you'll never go there again, but just the ability to wake up quicker when you're getting sucked into something that's not healthy. And then Penelope Dreamweaver says, let's dream up something new. Let's use our magical abilities to heal and move into something healthier. Okay. Also, just talking about inspiration and stuff, both of those, Pisces and Sag, were very Neptunian kind of readings. Just talking about, and again, after Mercury going direct, talking about being open-eyed, clear-minded. Do you feel a little bit of the doldrums lifting? I sure have. All right, Capricorn, you're up next. I have a message for Capricorn. Hi, Lisa. You are so welcome, and thanks for being here. Okay, I think this is the third one. Okay, for Capricorns. The fairy who was kissed by the pixies, Nellis the alchemist, and ooh, we do have one that went upside down here. And it's the Singer of Courage. I must have put those cards back in upside down, so I'm going to turn that over. And I'm going to turn that over. Okay. But we'll read the upside down for this, because why not? Okay. The fairy who was kissed by the pixies. Love given, love received, metaphorical open heart surgery. She's just talking about being open to love, accepting the love that is in your life, polishing it up, learning how to give love. Oh, whoopsie. Capricorn, and pardon me for this, but crappy Cappy, hats off to you. It can be a very valuable thing to see why the glass is half empty, but you also can cultivate the skills of looking at what's good about things. So, looking at love and the issues of love, starting off with where there already is love in your life. And that starts with, what do I love? What do I love about me? What do I love about my life? What do I love about that it's summertime, especially when we are surrounded by shit, by the dumpster fire that this whole planet is in right now. It's important every day to look around and find something to love about your life. And if it's not readily there, then you need to plug it in and you need to install it. Get up in the morning, start your morning in a way that you love rather than a way that you're dreading. And particularly if if you're unfortunate enough not to be working right now, hopefully you're making it. But look at it as a gift of time where you can start falling in love with your life again. So there's talking about love and attracting love and falling in love with your life. And then we have Nellis the alchemist, and she's the transformer. She's the one that's going to take the energy of whatever's going on and change it into something else. So whatever you're given, any given day, any given circumstance, you can turn that into an activity that I'm going to love. If you get up and your bedroom looks like a wreck and you hate being in that room, well, maybe clean it up a little bit. Maybe pour some magic in there and transform it by cleaning and making even just a little place, even just your nightstand, something that makes you feel good and that makes you feel, I love my life. Okay. Then we have the Singer of Courage, which is upside down. So buck up, Capricorn. Like I said, it is a gift to be able to see what the worst that can happen is. Disaster head can help you guard against things and be prepared for things. But then you've got to get out of the fear place. And Capricorn does fear so very well. Get out of the fear place. Buck up the courage. And Capricorn does courage well too, because they do fear well. So it's time to be courageous about love, okay? Instead of looking at what went wrong in the past, maybe you look at what went wrong and go, what did I learn from that? And what am I carrying forward? What don't I ever want again? What am I going to do from here on out? Transform that, like Nellis says, and go forth with courage, all right? Sorry. There you go, Capricorn. My allergies have been horrible. Okay, who's up next? Cancer. There you go, Baby Joe. Okay. So Cancer rising, Cancer moon. All right. We have the Singer of Transfiguration, we have the Singer of Healing, and we have Tobira of the Waters. And I gotta say, it is really unusual for all of these singers to be coming out. They are a tiny little set within these cards, and we've had singers in every group so far. So that tells me that spirit is just there, that this is on a spiritual level we're talking here, not just on a practical level tonight. When the singers start showing up, it is spirit calling to us. So spirit is calling pretty loud tonight so far. Okay, okay, Baby Joe, yes, we're hitting all your high points, aren't we here? Okay, hi, Austin. Okay, two new moons in Cancer this year. Really? I'm not sure about that. No, because our last new moon was Gemini. We are on a backwards thing right now. That our full moon was the Cancer Capricorn full moon, and then we're going to the Cancer new moon. So like to talk about lunations, you talk about, okay, Cancer new moon is this, and then at the full moon it's Cancer Capricorn, so you got the polarity and blah blah blah, but we're going backwards. We're having the full moon of that sign first and then the new moon of that sign. But no, our last new moon was Gemini. All right. 20th new moon is in Cancer, yes, but our last new moon was... Let's go back here. And I will readily admit if I'm wrong here. First. Sun enters, moon enters Cancer. By God, you're right. 2 Cancer new moons. So we're not actually backwards. But we're coming down to a Cancer new moon again, and then we will go to the Leo Aquarius full moon. So we are still on a backwards thing. So you're right. We do have two Cancer new moons. So concentrated energy of new moon in Cancer. What does that mean? Nurturing, caring about people, taking care of your body, eating good food, drinking good things, just taking care, nurturing yourself, nurturing your life, growing things, but most especially just caring. We need more of it. All right. The Singer of Transfiguration. Okay, so I thought there was also a Singer of Transformation, but not. There's a Singer of Transfiguration, Transcendence, Metamorphosis. Jackpot, this card in a reading signifies the joy of success after a time of struggle. So Transfiguration says you finally got there. There's emergence, there's transformation. Something has changed radically for you, Cancer. And the Singer of Healing right next to it says you're finally through a healing process. So something has changed. You're through the healing process. You've stepped through, the Singer of Transfiguration says, I've sung it into new form. And Singer of Healing says, now we can be healed of this and move on. So whatever grief process it is, from trauma, from a relationship, something like that, you're finally getting to that healing place where you can step through the door and move on. And then we have Tobira of the Waters. I'm realizing how long it's been since I've really worked with this deck because I'm having to look people up, but that's okay. I never took time to really learn these cards because I read them straight out of the book. This was like an outside oracle. I would let them fly out of the deck and then look them up rather than my own interpretations. So, Tobira of the Waters is emotion, serendipity, meditation, gracefully accepting change. So, what a great card for Cancer, a water sign. So Tobira of the Waters is being in your emotions, but being serene with them. So Cancer, your challenge is not to get so invested in them because they change. It's waves going in and out, right? And it's just going to change. So don't get invested in those emotions. Watch them go by with serenity, like you're watching the waves, I love that Pema Chodron, one of her Tibetan teachers, says there's no cure for hot and cold. So that means, you're gonna have all things in life. You're gonna have heat, you're gonna have cold, you're gonna have things that you're not happy about that kick your emotions off in one way or another. But we don't have to get caught up in that. So Tobira of the Waters says, looking at your emotions in more of a meditative way, in more of a serene way, and more of a, that's how we're feeling today. That's okay, because this too shall pass, And if it's a good day, you don't try to hang on to it, right? So just, I would say, enjoying kind of the emotional new beginning from the transformation that you've had, Cancer. Okay, let's see who we're talking to next. Scorpio. The Ice Queens. All right, one more. Scorpio. All right. Jehovah. Okay. And the Green Woman. Scorpio, you've got some surprises coming here. Habya. Imaginary fears, unreal hazards, realistic caution. Scorpio is another sign that does fear really well, but kind of on the other side of things, projecting it out, So this is talking about looking for truth behind your fears and facing that truth, distinguish between what's real and what is actually projection. So Scorpio is certainly prone to getting too serious about things. And there, that's a little better. Certainly prone to getting too serious about things and to locking things in, even more than Cancer. Cancer does let feelings flow. That's why they're, accused of being moody. Scorpio locks it in and looks at it as truth. So if there's a fear that comes up, it's like, this is the truth of things. and then we project all kinds of stuff onto it. So Scorpio, you might be getting caught up in the reality behind some things that you had been projecting about, and that can be a little bit of a shock. Habya is in the set of fairy challengers, so it's where you kind of get tripped up and get caught by the realization of, oh shit, that wasn't real. I was projecting all this stuff. So watch where you're making stories in your head about who's out to get you or what's going wrong or things like that. The green woman. She's a little bit of a trickster too. Look at her tongue sticking out. Okay. She is wildness and natural magic. Expectant gratitude, untrammeled creativity. So the green woman is just like, woo, wild green energy, summertime. Get out there, take advantage of that wild green growing energy. Talk to your plants. You know, get yourself grounded in reality. So come away from this illusion that you're waking up from of shit that wasn't really real and, you know, what was I really afraid of? Get out into the garden, get your hands in dirt, really feel some roots, and bring yourself down to earth again and into grounded reality. Because the Glanconer on the other side says we're just really still too prone to getting pulled off into these illusions and things. Bracketed by Habya and Glanconer, it's time for a serious reality check, Scorpio. Serious reality check. And, you know, maybe what you need to do is like have a personal dance party. Put on some drums and dance your ass off until you're sweating buckets and you can get that energy out of your system. Okay? So, yeah, Green Woman is saying time to get a little wild with some magic there, just to move that energy through your body is what I'm feeling. Okay. Then we have Aries. My husband and I both had Aries mothers and Aquarius fathers. He's an Aries. He's my second Aries husband. I have married all fire signs. Okay. That felt nice. I'm not sure if it was 3 or not, but that felt nice. And there's Green Woman again. There's Glanconer again. And there's the Singer of Healing. Okay. So again, Green Woman says in order to heal, we need to get our hands on the nitty gritty of things. Do some wild magic. So I went and put a grid around my building the other day. I've got these really great crystal points that I've had for a while. Bought a package of them. Oh, I'll do something great with them. Have I done anything with them? Fuck no. So it's like, all right, we have an excellent neighborhood. We have an excellent group of people in our building here. And I want to keep us protected and safe. So I buried crystals in each of the quarters. I've put up a pyramid. And I have put it up that this energy is available to everyone who lives here to use in whatever way they are ready and willing to use it in, unless it's in a negative way, and then it will be neutralized. But any energy that I am doing from my practice, from my prayer work, is available for everybody to use for the positive, for safety, for health, for abundance, all of those things. So some wild magic, getting out in the garden, going out and talking to nature, is what she's talking about, because we have to, again, we're healing from some sort of waking up from illusions here. This, when we've got cards repeating all over the place, you know, we're all under the same weather here. So again, Glanconer talks about illusion and the seduction of things that aren't so good for us but promise us some kind of escape. And the Singer of Healing says it's time to be done with that. Get out there and do your wild ass magic, Aries. Now we have the opposite, Libra. Alright. For our Libras, Libra rising, Libra moon, what do we got for you here? Oh, somebody came out. Oh, a couple people came out. I didn't even feel that happen. Okay. Tobira of the Waters, a collective of pixies, and honesty. One of my favorite cards in the deck. Okay, So Tobira of the Waters is talking about emotion and empathy, and a collective of pixies says it's time to spend some time with people that you vibe with. I know, hard to say, spend some time with people right now, but frankly, we have been having people over, just 2 people at a time. They sit on one side of our fire pit. We sit 10 feet away on the other side of our fire pit. They have a table and hand sanitizer and masks. We have stuff on our side, and we just keep physically distanced. And if somebody needs to use my bathroom, hand sanitizer and mask before you go in. You use the bathroom, you wash your hands, you sanitize again before you go out, before you touch the doorknob. So we're as safe as we can be, so we can spend some time with the people that we love, you know? So find a way to do it, but for God's sake, do it in a way that keeps you safe. Because Libra, you need people to vibe with. My darling sister-in-law, who is a Libra, and I've watched how Libras are suffering through this, particularly Libras that don't live with a bunch of people. You know, Libras really, really do get their recharge from other people. So being in empathy with other people is certainly what you need, Libra. And then I just want you to see this face. Look at that face. Don't you want to kiss it? Don't you just want to? Come on, show me clearer, please. Here he is. So, honesty is honesty. It just says be honest with yourself about where you are, about every situation with people that you're in. If somebody wants to come and visit you and you're not comfortable with that, be honest about it. Be honest about, here's what I'm comfortable with. Yes, I would love to see you, and here's what we need to do for everybody to be safe. So straight out honesty, don't let people convince you that everything's okay when it's not, or to take chances. That's what I want to say. Don't take chances. But certainly time to find a way to hook up with some people. I know that Starwood Festival is doing virtual Starwood. My church is doing virtual Summer Institute. So there are plenty of places that, people that go and do these things in the summer, plenty of places that are doing virtual versions of it that you should definitely hook up with if you don't have anything going on, Libra. Aquarius. I love her music so much. Very difficult to find some of the old albums. You can only find them on cassette. I've got one on cassette that I need digitized. Oh, okay, one more. Aquarius. Okay. Look at this. Look at this, you guys. Singers. I've never seen this deck do this before, ever, ever, ever. We've had singers in every single category. So this is the call to the fairies, and I'm okay. The fairies are kind of hollering at me right now, and they're saying, well, this is the first chance you've given us, so we're all coming out to open up the gates and to, sing them open. So I will tell you also that I have been putting wonderful offerings out to my fairies every night. I've been putting cherries out for them, raspberries, little cups of rum, just all kinds of goodies out there for them. So it doesn't surprise me that they're like here and on. Leave offerings for your fairies. Leave them for your ancestors. Whatever your belief system is, leave them offerings. It works. Okay, Singer of Initiation for Aquarius says it's time to get started. You've leveled up. It's time to get started again. It's time to integrate these lessons that you have been through, Aquarius, and this realization and this change that you've been through. Initiation means I'm finally ready to get down to business. I've finally figured out what the hell is what, and now I'm ready to get started. Initiation, a lot of people look at initiation ceremony as it's like graduation. And I've now arrived. Well, you have arrived, but what you've arrived at is the master class. You've arrived at, you know, you've received your diploma, and now it's time to show that you know what you know. So, Singer of Initiation says you've stepped through that gateway, you've leveled up. The Singer of Connection says it's time now to hook in with other people that have reached this level as well. Let's go back and look at these singers. Singers of the Realms. Stasis, they're so beautiful, aren't they? The Krua, Singer of Connection, okay, spiritual connection, karma, balance, and empathy. And the Singer of Initiation is a passage through trial and a new level, yes. So you've come through it, Aquarius, and through that trial and the tests of initiation, you've made a deeper connection within yourself and a deeper connection with spirit, a deeper connection with your guides. So if you haven't felt that connection, it's time to reach out and make that connection on this new level. The Sage is wisdom. This is your deep wisdom, and time to get out of, I mean, Aquarius, God, do you have the wisdom? Yes, you do. This is kind of a very Aquarian card, because it's about those unshakable truths that you know, and time to share those. So when you reach in and you create a deeper connection with your spirit guides, then you really have access to the deeper wisdom. I just want to look at the Sage again. Yep, wisdom, hidden knowledge, retreat, old age, and patience. So patience, yes, but congratulations, Aquarius, on your initiation. And make those connections. Talk to your guides on a daily basis. They will talk back, I guarantee you. Who's up? Gemini. How's everybody doing? Anything hitting for anybody? All right, Gemini, Gemini, Gemini. This is a medicine Buddha. Okay, I'm shuffling away here. Gemini, 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 Gemini. Okay. Gemini, Gemini, Gemini. Mikalamuckle, the Puka, and Las Gunna. Well, you busted the trend here, Gemini. Congratulations to you. The first one with no singers, and we're almost at the end. Okay, Mikalamuckle, where are you? He's one of the challengers. Oh wait, that's the poop. The Myomancer. Okay. All right. Mikalamuckle or Michaelamuckle. I'm M-I-K-L-E. Is that Mickle or Michael? I think it might be Michael. Michaelamuckle. Everyday blessings, play, and mixed blessings. So he says, lighten up. What is needed here is the benefit of a childlike, trusting heart and childlike wisdom seeing directly into the true nature of things. Don't complicate matters. What you see is what you get. Don't look for hidden and subtle meanings and motivations because they're not there in this case. Go to the heart of the matter, the simple core hidden behind complexities. Don't be so caught up in thinking about the future that you can't see what's happening now. Gemini usually doesn't have that problem. They're usually pretty adaptable. Welcome adventure into your life. Try something you've never done before and take time to play with Michael before you turn into a grumpy glumph or a worn-out wurg. Okay, so time to lighten up, Gemini. And your planet has just gone direct again, so you've been under this oppressive, your sun ruler has been backwards. So time to lighten up a little bit. Come out of the doldrums. Like I said, it's been doldrums for all of us. The Pook. is a shape changer, good and bad, bad and good paradox. So he's talking about looking at the way things are and seeing how they can kind of turn into their opposite. Time for the resolution of seeming contradictions and paradoxes in the situation. Someone or some part of the situation is cloaked in confusion, and our muddled thoughts must be stripped away, revealing truth. We just need to think about it. The information we needed is now available to us, and as soon as we have that burst of insight and get it, it's time for us to make changes based on our newly clear understanding. So Michael and Muckle says, loosen up, play a little bit, take some time off from dealing with the logistics of things and the planning of things, and just play and see how things are kind of shifting right now and how your awareness of something can shift. So I know I've mentioned this before, but when somebody's hit with like a really big challenge, for instance, someone losing a job, someone's car dying, those big life-changing things that come out of the blue that are, happen to everybody, but still can be quite a smack. And think about it and talk to your spirit guides and say, please tell me as quickly as you can why this is the best thing that could have ever happened to me at this time. So that's a reframe. In NLP, they call it a reframe. So NLP is neuro-linguistic programming. It's how your brain, it's how this computer is programmed, and it's programmed with language and pictures. So the reframe is just looking at the glass and seeing half full instead of half empty. So it's a way of, how can I look at this and see the blessing in it rather than the curse that I'm looking at right now. Then we have Las Gunna. And she is right before the book. No, that's Bodacious Buddha. The 3s and the 5s in this deck look very similar. Okay, Las Gunna. Sunken treasure, discovery of self, adventure. Las Gunna tells us to pay attention to our dreams and listen to the murmur of the waters, to note the patterns in the damp fallen leaves, to listen for distant high sounds of angelic music among the stars. She also suggests soothing baths, hot tubs, jacuzzi trips to the nearest spa or hot springs, dips in the handiest sea pond. So she is like a frog. She's talking about that she's down in the muck. Look at her. You see her little froggy legs? She's kind of in the muck and rolling around in it, but she's talking about finding what the treasure is, and really great next to the Pook, because that talked about things changing into their opposites. So Gemini, now really time for you to take a whole different look at something, at the situation you're in, and try to look at it in a completely new way and ask yourself that question: how is this the best thing that possibly could be happening to me right now? And then answer that question in as many different ways as you can, no matter how far you have to stretch your imagination to do it. Okay. Leo. All right, here we go. And as I'm doing these, am I listening to the ones for me, for Pisces and Scorpio? No, but I'll listen to the Leo one, because I just realized I'm not listening, I'm reading. All right. Oh, look, it's a singer. Singer of connection. All right, I'm going to put that one in the center. And then we have the Sage and another singer, or the Guardian of the Gate. And I will tell you that when I did a reading with these last night, the Guardian of the Gate was there for me as well. So more singers coming out. Gemini, you are the oddball tonight so far, and we've only got 2 more to go. All right, Singer of Connection. Time to connect with your guides. Time to fucking pray, Leo. Time to do it. Let's pretend we're witches, okay? Let's pretend that magic is real. Let's pretend that if I talk to the goddess, she hears me and she answers my prayers. Let's pretend that my fairy guides are really there to help me. What's going to happen when I pretend or when I believe that these things are real? How am I going to behave? That's what the Singer of Connection is saying, is make that connection right now and start behaving that way. the sage over here says, because you already know this. This is the wisdom that you have. You carry it in you, make those connections on a daily basis, and Guardian of the Gate says, and then things change. Then we can step through the doorway. So time to gather up all your sources of, bring them around you on a daily basis, and then we really get started. We step over a boundary and things change. And I heard every word of that. Thank you, fairies. Virgo. It's funny because this was a tape that was digitized by a friend of mine, because you can't get this album, Songs of Transformation, on CD. So it skips. It skips and sticks and does these little digital glitches that are funny. All right. Virgo. Looky, it's a singer. Iris of the Rainbows, the singer of initiation, and solace. He's one of my dudes. He is one of my dudes. I have big versions of these that I keep on my walls at times. Okay. Iris of the Rainbows. And she's 32, not 52, because the 3s and the 5s in this deck look so damn similar. Elam, Iris of the Rainbows, is hope and promise for the future. So Virgo, be hopeful. Rest in hope. And hope is a construct of the mind. Hope is what you do with your brain. Hope is a verb. It's something you do. So hoping is imagining a future. It's imagining the future that you want. So Virgo, it's time to actively start hoping and imagining the future that we want. Regardless of the reality that we're in now, we're heading for some events like an election that we really want to come out a certain way. So it's time to start hoping. And there's a fine, fine line here. Because when you start hoping and then you start emotionally investing, you can set yourself up for a horrible disappointment if things don't turn out the right way. So you've got to find the way to invest the emotional energy without setting yourself up, or at least retaining the ability to step back and go, okay, this is the way that went, now what? You know, without getting too lost in the grief process. So hoping and the singer of initiation, again, is about getting started with things that you've leveled up. So congratulations, you've leveled up. Time to start looking towards the future and what you want to do with that. And solace is empowerment. He is kind of the bridge between the singers and the actual fairy messengers and the she. So he is knowledge, consciousness, synthesis, and spiritual empowerment. So just consciousness, Virgo, wide awake. I am so aware of what's happening. If you look at the patterns that have been happening on our planet, this is nature, this is physics, this is the laws of nature that are in operation. And that can be very comforting because we know what goes around comes around, and we know that things can heal. And I mean, it's hard to be hoping right now, but we've got to keep doing it. And the singer of initiation there says, because you can, you Virgo do have that power to manifest things. All right. Initiation is a diploma. You know, it says you've got these skills now, and it's time to show what you got to the universe. So there you go. Now, who's left? Who's left? I don't remember. Taurus. Taurus? Our patient little bulls waiting until the very end. Okay, Taurus. Our Venus people. I wish you could smell this incense. Okay, for our Venusians, Taten the Sylph, the Glenconer, and the Green Woman. All right, let's look up Taten. Glenconer has come up for what, 3 of us so far tonight? Well, not so far, I mean, that's the end of it, but yeah, okay. And I just got like conspiracy theories popping up with the Glenconer and fake news. Oof, we'll talk about that. Okay, Taten the Sylph is acute intellect, quickness, mental synthesis, and discernment. What we see here is mental quickness, adaptability, and enthusiasm. Ideas and opinions abound. A few are brilliant, but others vary from mediocre to downright silly. Be selective. Mental and psychic abilities may be awakening. Independent thinking is in operation. New ideas and new versions of old ideas are creating an exciting, effervescent atmosphere. Avoid excess and extremes. Minds may change often as new ideas and new ways of seeing bubble to the surface. All right, so a lot going on up here right now for you, Taurus. Again, it's saying make sure that you're discerning, that with all of these bright things, I'm looking at this bright flash, you know, and how exciting that is. And look, okay, I might be really sorry I did this, but let's see. Okay, new ideas, sorry, new gadgets, new ideas that are very seductive. So the Glenconer here says that some of these new ideas can be very seductive and falsely so. They can have a real glamour to them. And what's coming up in my head right now too is MLMs, multi-level marketing and pyramid schemes. Especially if you're in a place of not having the money that you're used to having or not being able to work, Taurus, it can be so attractive to think about a get-rich-quick scheme and something that's going to pull you in. And nothing will pull a Taurus in quicker than the idea of making money. So it's saying be very discerning about new ideas. Run them through every filter that you have, legal ones and then some. Talk to other people that have done this. Did it work for you? Is it real? Is, you know, all this kind of stuff. So filters are really important for you, Taurus, so you don't get suckered. And then the Green Woman for you, Taurus, too, says get out there, sit your ass down on the grass, stick your fingers in the dirt, talk to your plants, get things down to the ground level. Okay? Now, I want a reading for, like, all of us, and I'm going to knock their heads together again. Okay. Does anybody have, like, a specific burning question? Fairies, I would like just an overall message about where we are right now, what we're to do in the times we're in with the pandemic, with all of the situations politically we're dealing with. There's one. Well, let's take a look at that one. Luthus the Wild, and it's one of the challengers. No, yes, it is one of the challengers. Haste, impulsiveness, fire, spontaneity, balance. Haste, impulsiveness, things you do too fast, like opening businesses and sending people back to classrooms. This card says that wild creative energies are being brought to whatever position it represents in the card layout. It often fires up the things that surround it, represented by other cards, energizing them as well. Tells us that it's important to think and act creatively. It says the energy to do so is available. New approaches are called for. Old ideas and old behaviors will not do. We can't go back to doing things the way we did them before. Sometimes it may be useful to draw another card or do an additional layout to get suggestions. Yes, I was just about to do that. And look at this. The Glenconer. Fake fucking news. This is propaganda here. What did I just drop in my trash can? I don't know. Shit. I think it was a candle. Anyway, this is propaganda. This is the seductive propaganda of, I mean, you know, you guys know, It is complete bullshit that we're being sold. It is not time to open things up. We are still in the first wave, and it is just now peaking. And it's peaking to the extent that it is because we fucked up every step along the way. So all the bullshit that they're talking about of this is the best thing we can do. No, this is Trump's version of letting this disease wash over the population. Like he said, what happens if we just let it wash over everybody? This is what's happening. It's washing over us and people are fucking dying. So to anybody that is a teacher or that is a parent that has kids in school, don't fucking do it. Tell them no. Remember the old poster from the 60s? What would happen if they gave a war and nobody came? What would happen if they opened the schools and nobody came? If you don't have teachers and students, you don't fucking have schools. And they can go ahead and cut the funding. Is it worth your lives? Okay. And then we have the Oak Men. Let's take a look at them. Strength, ancient wisdom, depth. This card depicts the strength and wisdom of age. It also reminds us that what we need to know, what is truly there to be seen, cannot be discovered by a superficial glance and hasty reaction. So again, we're being warned against haste. In a reading, the Oak Men tell us to look slowly and deeply into the heart of the matter and to see past the superficialness of the surface. Consider the history of the situation in depth, learn from the past. They've lied to us every step along the way. They're still lying to us. They will continue to lie to us. Consult others with more experience than you have, scientists and doctors. Learn from the wisdom of the elders, both those available to you personally and those you encounter in books and elsewhere. In this matter, it would be wise to make your decisions after more pondering and study of the situation. Consider motivations in depth. Take action only after thorough deliberation. The Oak Men tell us that haste may be, at this moment, our worst enemy. They also suggest that we might learn a lot from trees. Consider the trees and their wisdom, connect with a wise old one, and ask for help. Okay, so all of these things are saying we're moving too fast. We're moving too fast, and it's all because of illusionary things. It's because of this economy. You know, the economy that the GOP talks about is the stock market. It's how they're doing in the stock market. It's not the economy that pertains to us. It's the stock market, and that's not the economy. But they figure if that's doing okay, then everything's great. Oh, so peachy. So nobody has an actual, like a specific question? Listen to this. Talking about we come from the stars. Anybody seen the comet? We haven't seen it yet, but I've seen a couple of photos that people have caught, and it's pretty spectacular. I saw Hyakutake when it came through back in the 90s, and that was pretty spectacular. So, I mean, comets are harbingers, right, of change, that this is a significant moment. I haven't looked at anything to see, like, astrologically, where if this comet is falling. And, you know, when we talk astrology and the positioning of things astrologically, we are talking about the ecliptic. We're talking about a single belt in the sky, this ring that has the astrological signs on it, those constellations on it. But then there's the rest of space, because it's a sphere, right? So when you're talking about like fixed stars in your chart, there's things called star parents, because they can't really say where they are in relationship to the signs. If, you know, the signs are here and the stars up here. So, you know, there are ways to look at things that aren't on the belt of the zodiac, but I haven't seen anything about where this comet plugs in, and I haven't gone looking for it. So, okay. All right, sun to shine astrology. We're going to pull Socrates in here. Let me dust him off a little bit. Meet Socrates if you haven't, folks. I started putting him at the end of my unboxing videos, and then I forgot about him quickly because the questions were odd, so I'll start bringing him here on Wednesdays. So let's ask for sun to shine astrology and tarot. Will her COVID I assume her, will their COVID test come back negative? Sun to Shine Astrology. Will their COVID test come back negative?
No fucking way.
So the question was, will it come back negative? And it said no way. So that indicates a positive result. Let me know, because he's funny. So, take him with a grain of salt. We'll see what he says. You're welcome. Any advice with regard to medical school exam preparations for next month? Okay, I'm going to go grab, actually, I'm going to grab right here. I'm going to grab the Hanson Roberts here. Alrighty. You're welcome, Sun to Shine. Got my fingers crossed for you, honey. Oh, they don't want me to shuffle. All right, we're going to shuffle this way. So, Lisa asks for advice in regard to medical school exams next month. What does she need to know about medical school exams? Preparations. Okay. Holy shit, look at that. I would say you're doing what you need to do. Eight of Rods says it's coming fast. Okay, things are coming down the pike pretty fast. Three of Cups and Nine of Cups says things are going to turn out the way you want them to. Three of Cups is a celebration. Nine of Cups is the higher octave of that celebration and getting what you wish. So here's what I'm going to tell you. While you're studying your ass off, get a hold of like Shakti Gawain. Here, I'm going to put this in here. Oh, are you kidding me? All right, hold on here. Here we go. Shakti Gawain. Okay, Shakti Gawain's creative visualization was the thing that started it off for me. Or Kelly Howell. Get one of these recordings. Get a Kelly Howell recording. There are ones that she has that are like beta and for high focus that you can put on with headphones and leave on while you're studying, or theta. Theta is key. I'm going to put here theta frequency. Theta is the frequency of trance state. And when you're in theta, all learning happens in trance state. That's when your brain absorbs information. So you can put those headphones on, and they have recordings with, like if you buy one of her albums, there's a guided imagery, and then there's a 30-minute track that's just music and the sound technology. You have to use headphones because the sound technology is what makes your brain go into a frequency. So put the headphones on, be into theta, study then. Go through, do whatever you're reading you're doing, and after you're done studying, and first of all, know that everything that you read and everything that you have read and everything that your eyes have touched is in here. No, it's in there. There's no two ways about it. If your eyes have touched it, it's in there. After you're done studying, lie down, get nice and relaxed, and this is where the Shakti Gawain comes in great. So I'd say Kelly Howell while you're studying, theta with headphones while you're studying. Then afterwards, put the creative visualization thing on, and if she's doing like the pink bubble technique where you're visualizing something and you send it off in a pink bubble, just visualize sitting down to take the test and just knowing everything. As soon as you read the question, I know the answer to that. This is easy. Visualize that and send it off. And if you do this every night, along with studying, you're going to get a good surprise, okay? And I mean, this is saying that you're on your way to like success, to certainly a celebration and getting the things that you want and need. So you are very welcome, my dear. I will tell you a story about that. When I was doing the creative visualization thing, and I started it in the 80s because I was losing my fucking mind. Go and watch the video under, I think it's in the playlist called Storytelling, and it's called The Woman in the White Kimono. Watch that story because it's about my psychic gifts waking up and what that creative visualization tape did for me. But I was working at a doctor's office, and a woman there used it, and she was in school, and she was taking Chinese history, and she had an exam coming up and was freaking out because Chinese history was so damn hard just to get the names and everything straight. I gave her the tape. She did it. She visualized just that, sitting down at the test and knowing everything, and she said that's exactly the way the exam went. Exactly. And she got an A. So the thing with studying is that we study, but then we don't know how to get it back out when we need it. And so many times fear and anxiety get in the way. So we sit down to take the test, we doubt, fear and anxiety gets in the way, and we cannot access what is in there. You have the knowledge. And this is why so often when you walk out of the exam, you go, oh shit, I know what the answer was to that, but you sat there and struggled with it while you were taking the exam because anxiety came in and made you doubt. So the thing is, in putting in putting in the affirmations and installing the programming that I can get things out when I need it. And I have a thing, if I'm trying to remember something, well, when I was in college and a straight A student, I would do the same thing. And I would just, when I was cramming, because I was a crammer, I would read, and I wouldn't worry about remembering everything I was reading. I was just reading very consciously, making sure every word I read was there. And then I would lie down and I would imagine that I was the earth, and everything I read was like drops of rain falling down on me and sinking in, and I would feel those drops of rain sinking into my brain, and then I would know it's all in there and it comes out when I need it. And there's a thing I do when I'm trying to remember something, that I mentally have like a fishing rod with a bobber on it. And it's like, I can't remember the name of that song. What was okay, I know it's in there. So I imagine myself casting out. I watch the bobber hit the water, and I tell it what I'm after, and then I forget about it. And in a little while, ding, ding, that bobber will go and the information comes up. So know that it's all in there. Everything that you've known, everything that you've experienced is all still in your brain. It's just a matter of access and getting it back out, and meditation can help with that. And it can calm you down for the testing situation, but it can also really help in programming that information will be available to you when you need it. Okay? So, yeah, I mean, magic is real, you guys, and you can use it for very practical things. But the thing is practice. You know, you have to practice. You can't just like do a spell and pass a test. That ain't the way it works. You've got to lay the groundwork. You have to work on all levels, you know. You work on the practical level, and then you work on the spiritual level. So the practical level is actually doing the studying, doing the assignments, whatever that is. The mental level, understanding the material, making an intellectual connection with it, storing it in your brain, you know, connecting that to the other parts of your experience so that it makes sense in your world, right? The emotional level, the will to wanting to succeed. I really want to do this, and looking forward to the feelings of succeeding, or conversely, you know, dreading the feelings of failure. So you got to work on the emotional level too, and start generating the positive feelings of success. And that also provides motivation for studying and the work that you have to do. And then you work on that, the level of will is just fucking doing all these things, showing up for it. And then the spiritual level, you work the magic, and you do, you know, the more subtle energetic things that will help you succeed. Okay. Well, we're like at an hour and 15 minutes. Anybody have any last questions before I drink the very last little sip of my peach? heavy whipping cream, you guys. It's the best shit in the world. We are getting ready to go back on strict keto on the new moon. And I have lost 50 pounds on keto, gained a little bit of it back, going off and, you know, all the trauma of the last few months. But we're going back on strict because I want to get rid of this last 15 pounds or so. And heavy whipping cream, bacon, butter. Yeah, baby. So heavy whipping cream is your friend. It goes in lots of things that I cook. And when you put it in a blender with crushed ice and fruit juice and stuff, and you put the heavy whipping cream in there and let it go, it actually whips the cream and like turns it into instant ice cream. It's incredible. It's incredible. So a vision of a man in your dreams. Okay, who was he? Is he the one? I don't know. Do you know him? Do you know him? Is this somebody that you know? Or, I mean, I don't know that that's an answerable question, my dear. And if you're talking about a vision is different from dream. So the first thing I want to know, is this somebody that you know? Is this an actual person that you know? Because if it's not, okay, no questions tonight. Thank you. You're welcome. Okay, so it's not somebody that you know. Then I'm not going to answer. Because if you're looking for the one, what you need to do, rather than focusing out there and on the person, especially if this is just a vision of a person, I would say that it might be that you are preparing to accept someone into your life. Never seen. Okay, but it was so real. All right, so talk to your guides. Talk to your guides first of all, and then if this really stirred up like feelings of attraction and love in you, then I want you to tune into that energy, the energy of, that makes your heart skip a little bit. And I want you to bring that energy up, and I want you to direct it back this way. Direct it to your life. I want that energy of falling in love to be about your life, because here's the truth. Here's the truth about it. Not until you are done needing it does the big one come along. So before my husband and I got together, and we've been married for 21 years now, and we knew each other for 21 years before we got married. So we knew each other. He wasn't even on my list of possibilities. And I was going through my last divorce and I was light years away from any man. I was done. I was fucking done. And we kind of refound each other through a friend that he was working for, a mutual friend. And so he started coming over, and I invited him over just to come over and hang out as a friend. And he started making little flirty things. And I just said, stop right there. Stop right the fuck there. I am not interested in any man. If you're going to come around here with this, do not come around. And he backed off, and I never felt another shred of it. So number one, he honored my boundaries. And then he kept coming over, and we would just hang out as friends. And after months, suddenly it was like, wow, he's really handsome. And, we became good friends first, and then things caught fire. And this is why we have such a great relationship, because we are best of friends. So the thing was, though, that I got to the part of going, I do not want another relationship like that. I'm the common denominator here. I went to therapy. I did my work. And I said, I can be happy like this the rest of my life. I can make myself perfectly happy. I can have a life that I love. I do not need another partnership. And because I didn't need it, I got one of the real ones. And so when he came along and I started having feelings, I called one of my friends and said, hey, I always get caught this way. I end up in these horrible relationships because I go blind, and I need somebody else to look at this to make sure I'm not going blind. And I talked to her, and it was like he was turning 40, and I said, she said, has he ever been married? And I'm like, no. And she's like, why hasn't he been married? And I said, well, because the person he was engaged to died in a car accident. And she's like, okay, that's a good reason. So it wasn't commitment phobia, just hadn't found the right person. And then I found out that this man had been waiting for me since we had first met, like 20 some years before that. He was like, he was sure. He actually said to me that he was going to marry me, and I told him to fuck off. So when you no longer come at it from a place of need, the big relationships show up. When you are in need of one, the best you can hope for is codependence. So therapy. Get a hold of some Brene Brown books. Read about shame and vulnerability. And use that image in your dream to start falling in love with your own life, and to generate those feelings of love and bring them to yourself, because there is nothing more attractive to somebody else than somebody who is happy and madly in love with their life. And what happens is then you attract somebody who loves happy you and wants to support you in that state of loving your life to pieces. And that's the best you can hope for in a relationship. But you got to get over the need part, which sounds like you have. So, that's okay. Gave up years ago. Yeah. Happy me. Okay, well, I got shit tons of stories, girlfriend. I got a lot of them. I've been around a long time, and I got lots of stories, and I tell them over and over again. I don't know how much I've been repeating them lately. I don't know how much I repeat myself, but hopefully, it's not to that point yet. Anyway, I really appreciate you guys being here. I've got some things in the works. I'm getting ready to launch a Patreon account, or I have a Patreon account. I'm getting ready to launch my levels so that you can subscribe. One of the things I'm going to be offering is a monthly lunation reading, so reading charts on the new and the full moon and talking about things that you can do magically to use those energies. Looking at launching that on the new moon. I'm not sure I'm going to make that deadline, but we'll see. By the end of the summer, no doubt, Patreon will be launching. I'm also looking at launching a second live stream reading evening on Twitch stream. So you will be able to find out about that, I'm sure, when it's happening. And I'm also getting serious about my shop that I set up on Facebook and have never actually used. It's called Hecate's Handbasket. And I hope you get the joke. But I have so many purses and silk scarves and tarot bags, and now I have beautiful masks and things that I'm making, and I have no place to sell them because there are no fairs or things going on. So trying to rook my son into running my shop, and I'm finding that my motivation has returned now that we're out of the retro. Of course, we've still got all the heavies retro, and those don't change until the end of the summer. And then we'll have Mars going retro as well at that time. But anyway, we still have some slogging along to do before the energies really start picking up again. But I know by the end of the summer, there's going to be a lot of new things for you. I hope you're here for it. I'm glad you're here for it tonight. Donate if you feel like it. I've got a lot of new decks that I think I'm finally done buying decks for the summer. My God, have I spent some money. And I appreciate that I have that money to spend. So give me a donation. If there's a deck you'd like me to review, go ahead and let me know too. I'm trying to figure out where I can put up like a list of all the things I have in my collection so that you can request. But and then I'm sad because it's going to take me forever to get through all of these decks. So I think, maybe I'll do one every day. Probably not. But anyway, let me know what you need. Let me know what you need and what you want. Do you want me to do some more prayer meetings, like prayer circles? I was thinking about, a monthly or a weekly prayer circle, maybe on the new moon or a full moon, a prayer circle where we just get together and pray up the energy and put some blessings out to move things in the way that things need to move. Sunshine, go down and click at the bottom of the video is a donate button for not Patreon, it's through my Streamlabs OBS. But there's a donate button below the video. Just click on that and it'll walk you through how to donate. I really appreciate it. I really, really do. Dr. Prachi, may I ask, ma'am? Uh-oh. What do you want to ask, ma'am? I don't know. I'm kind of sitting in fear and trepidation over Dr. Prachi here. Let's see what kind of question comes up. Do you want to support a prince in Nigeria? I don't know. All right, we'll see. We'll see if a question comes up. At any rate, it is 1:27, hour and a half. These tend to play out to about an hour and a half. I will be here next week with yet another deck. And so I think, I don't know, I was going between the Fairies and the Russian Gypsy deck, but I think I'm just going to grab a new one each time because, I have them. I have them, and I have to use them, and I have to justify their existence. And so anyhow, any relationship. Okay, having weird dreams these days, any relationship. All right, Dr. Prachi. The person named Dr. Prachi asking about relationship. Let's take 3 cards and see. All right, I'm going to pull them out of here because those didn't want to go back in the deck. Okay, let me pull myself out of the way a little bit. You're welcome, Mary. I'm so glad that I have a face behind the name. Okay, relation between the dreams. So weird dreams these days. All right, let's see. All right. Now, I'm not sure if this will relate to the dreams themselves that you're having or what's going on. I mean, dreams are always weird when Mercury goes retro. A lot of retrograde energy means things are working on an internal level rather than an external and practical level. So dreams can get really weird on retros. But let's just see what these cards have to say and see if it makes any sense for you. 10 of Rods and 5 of Swords. 10 of Rods is talking about carrying too much responsibility. So sometimes when we have too much on our plate, it starts spilling over into dreams when our brain is trying to process too much. And that can get a little bit weird. Certainly the message is to look at what you can say no to, what's not yours to handle, and let it go. Delegate. Learn to delegate. And 5 of Swords there talks about a win-lose situation. So I'm wondering whether you have a choice about giving up some responsibilities or not. And it may be a situation where you need to stand up and fight for it and say, I'm taking on too much. This is too much for me to do, and let some of it go. King of Cups talks about mastery of emotions. So, and I'm getting a sense that the weird dreams are emotional spillage as well, that there's just stuff spilling over into dreams. So the King of Cups there is just saying, ask them for information, but don't get caught up in how they're manifesting or what they're saying. Like, like unknown people not related to me are dying or being harassed. People I don't know, but I can see them. Okay, well, I mean, people you don't know being harassed. This is where we're at. We've got people all over the place being harassed. So I think you're soaking up some of what's happening in the culture right now. There are a lot of people that are our friends and neighbors that are not safe. They're not safe in our culture. And so I think you're absorbing some of that feel of, maybe a deeper level of understanding that some people do not feel safe in our culture and can die just by existing and being black. And there was something else I was going to say here. Oh, okay. So here's something you can do. When your dreams are really wacky, or, when you have a dream where it's like, it was so vivid, but it's just no sense whatsoever. You can look at that and go, okay, my brain created everything in this dream. Therefore, Everything in this dream is me. So look at the symbols of the dream, because your brain, your right brain is what produces dream states, and it speaks in symbols. So for instance, let's say you dreamed about a window, and you can say, all right, I am a window. I'm a window because you can see through me. I'm a window because I can be broken. I'm a window because I can be opened. I can be closed, right? I'm transparent. So you can pick the symbols in your dreams and say, I am that thing, and then just play with it. This is why I am that thing. And that can give you some real insight into what's going on in dreams. Also, dreams and visions are different things. When you're having a dream, like Sun to Shine was talking about having really vivid dreams, those are visions. And a dream has a dream quality. It's weird. It's like, okay, so I was in this house. It was like this huge house, and it was my house, but it wasn't my house. And it was inside, but outside. And it's weird. Dreams are weird. They don't make sense. But then you have ones, and it's like, I felt like I was really there. I felt like I was awake. It was so ordinary, and it's vivid, and it doesn't fade like dreams do. When you wake up and you come into conscious mind, you know how dreams just kind of fade away, because that's your unconscious. You can feel it fading back into the unconscious. And if you want to catch dreams before they fade, keep a notebook beside your bed. They call it seeding dreams. Before you go to sleep at night, I'm going to have clear dreams, and I'm going to catch them in this notebook. And when you wake up and you're aware you've had a dream, don't open your eyes. Grab the notebook and write down like key things. Just scribble it down without opening your eyes, because as soon as you open your eyes, information comes in and a different part of your brain comes to the fore, and you start losing the dream stuff. If it's a vision, you're not going to have to try to remember it. It will stay as clear as the day you had it for the rest of your life. So if what you're having is visions of people that you don't know that are dying, and these are disturbing for you, then I would talk to your guides. Yes, visions come while we're asleep. Absolutely. They can come while you're awake, but they can come while you're asleep. And the nature of it is, I had this dream, but it was like I was really there, and everything was so ordinary, and I could taste and smell and feel, and very, very ordinary feeling, not dreamlike at all, feeling like you're really there, like it's a waking state. So if you're having those and they're disturbing to you, you need to talk to your guides, and get some boundaries up and start doing some meditation, because what's the point of having true psychic visions coming through if there's nothing you can do about them, right? So you don't need to be disturbed. You don't need to let those things in. If there's nothing you can do about them, talk to your guides, do some meditation, get some filters put up. But if it's just regular old dreams, I would say, it's just your brain dealing with all the shit you're carrying, dealing with all the stuff that you have to deal with, and, that maybe, and meditation will help there too, to get your mind calmed. Valerian is an herb that will give you crazy dreams if you don't dream too well. Okay, let's see. Okay. Not able to forget. Okay. Remember everything. That's good. How to talk to guides. Sit down, get in a meditative state, and say, hey, I know you're there. Thank you for being there. I need your help. Have a conversation. Just have a conversation. They're there. Pretend you're talking to somebody. Close your eyes. Okay, who's here? When I first met my guides, I was aware of them. Ingrid was the first one I really met, because I would lose things, and I would just stop and say, somebody help me out here. And I would always go straight to it. And I could feel a female, and I could feel a male. And years later, when I finally, okay, I'd like to really meet these guides, and I'm going to do a meditation and sit down and ask their names. And I got in meditation. I thought, I'm probably not going to learn anything right now. And I said, okay, I know you're there, and I feel the male and the female. I'd like to know your names. And Ingrid Lloyd, bang, bang. I mean, the names came in so fast. So just sit down and talk to them. They can't step in and help you out unless it's a life or death matter, unless you ask them. So ask them. Talk to them. They're waiting there. They can only do things when you ask, unless it's life or death. Okay, yeah, those dreams they can be disturbing, but you can do something about it. And you guys know I recommend meditation to every person on the face of the planet. Look through the chat. Kelly Howell, Shakti Gawain. Those are the two that I've used most often. Belle Ruth Napperstack is another one. She is the queen of guided imagery. She was like a pioneer into guided imagery when they first started using it in hospitals and figuring out that it really worked. So all of those things, get recordings. You don't have to struggle to meditate. Get a recording, put the fucking headphones on, lay down, off you go. But then do it every day. And I guarantee you, if you do it every day for at least 4 weeks, you'll start seeing things change. Go watch Storytelling, the Woman in the White Kimono video for what Shakti Gawain's tape did for me. It's why I'm sitting here. It's why I'm sitting here doing this, because that is what changed my life. So, how to get rid of anxiety? Well, start with meditation. Listen to everything I'm telling these people. Start with meditation. You've got to get a handle. You've got to get in your body and get a handle on your own energies. That's where it starts. And I am going to start going. I'm going to go now because we're almost at an hour and 45. But I really appreciate everybody being here. Like I said, shoot me a donation if you can. I appreciate it. And watch the rest of the summer. There's going to be a lot of new things happening. I'm very excited about it. I want to serve you in the best way I can. So if there's something I can do for you, let me know. And I will be here again on Friday for an unboxing of an Oracle deck. I don't know which one yet because I haven't shot that video yet. And then I will be back for another unboxing of a tarot deck on Monday. And then I will be back here on Wednesday for more readings. So Guavco, sorry. I'm sorry. Every Wednesday at 8:30 Eastern, I'm here. What do you do if you feel lighted? Honey, I can't really address that right now. Get Shakti Gawain, Kelly Howell, get some meditation things. Start meditating. Every single one of you. I mean it, all of you, okay? I will be back here live next Wednesday. Be here about 8:30, and I'll be here for more readings. And I appreciate all you guys. You know the deal. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Wear your goddamn masks. Don't go places. If a business is not, if they're putting stupid signs in their windows and not wearing masks, don't patronize them. The people that are smart enough to keep themselves safe have got to lead the way here. So keep yourself safe. I feel bad for the ones that can't think their way out of a wet paper bag enough to know that this is to keep them safe. And there's nothing we can do about it. So here's my final message. Here's my final message. Grounding. Yes, Baby Joe, thank you. Grounding. Look at my video on grounding. All right. We can't do anything about stupid people. You can't fix stupid. You can't change anyone but yourself. So all of these people that are absolutely refusing, you can't do a fucking thing about them. All you can do is keep yourself safe and let them do their thing. We are watching an extinction event of humanity, of people that are choosing to go out and fucking get COVID, people that are actually taking kids to parties so they can get infected like they used to do with measles. And it's so dangerous and it's criminal and it's sickening. So take your focus away from these people, because we can't change them, and put it on what can I do. And Guavco, honey, I have anxiety disorder. Meditation changed my life. Go watch the Woman in the White Kimono video. Get yourself some meditation recordings and start doing them every day. You can get a handle on this. I mean, my anxiety disorder is lifelong, but I can function now, and I know how it works. So you can get better. Start with meditation, dear. Please show up again next Wednesday. Come here at 8:30. And we'll talk again. We'll have some more readings. In the meantime, you guys, I love you. Thank you so much for being here and being chatty and engaging. I love to see you. And I will see you on Friday. Until then, this is the Zen Witch. Blessed be.